Find the solution of the given initial value problem. So we have a homogeneous third order differential equation and 3 initial conditions. Okay, to solve this homogeneous equation, we first find the corresponding characteristic equation, which is r cubed plus 4r equals 0. Solve for r, so we can factor r out. So r equals 0 and r squared plus 4 equals 0. We get plus minus 2i. So e raised to 0t 1, and that's 0 plus minus 2i, complex roots, so cosine 2t and sine 2t. So there are 3 solutions, okay, because the third order, and the solution y is, by the way, their linear combination. So c1 times 1 plus c2 times cosine 2t plus c3 times sine 2t. Now, using the initial conditions, we want to determine c1, c2 and c3. Look at the second and third initial conditions. Okay, so we have y prime, y double prime, so we need to find y prime and y double prime, but let's use first initial condition anyways. So using y at 0 equals 0, okay, this implies, so y is 0 when t is 0, so this is c1 plus c2 times cosine 0 1, so c2, c3 times sine 0, which is 0. So c1 plus c2 equals 0, or we can solve in terms of c2. So c2 equals negative c1. Okay, solve for c2 in terms of c1. So we're going to use this later. Now, to use the second initial condition, we need to find the derivative of y. Let's find the derivative. Y prime, derivative of c1 is 0. Derivative of c2 cosine 2t, that's negative 2c2 sine, here 2c3 cosine 2t. And let's find second derivative as well to make use of the third initial condition. That's negative 4c2 cosine 2t, negative 4c3 sine 2t. Okay, using the second initial condition, which is y prime 0 equals 1, so we have to use here, by the way, we get y prime t is 1 when t is 0, so negative 2c2 sine 0. Sine 0 is 0, so whole thing is gone, plus 2c3 cosine 0. Cosine 0 is 1, so 2c3. Okay, from this we can find the value of c3, by the way, or c3 is 1/2. Okay, so we have here. Now, using the third initial condition, that's y double prime 0 equals 2. So we use here, so y double prime is 2 when t is 0, so negative 4c2 cosine 0. Cosine 0 is 1, so negative 4c2, minus 4c3 sine 0. Sine 0 is 0, so this is gone, so negative 4c2, or we can find c2 from here. c2 equals 2 over negative 4, so negative 1/2. So we found c2 here, c3 here, and c2 is negative c1. That implies c2, oh, c2 is negative 1/2, so negative 1/2 equals negative c1, because c2 was negative 1/2 equals negative c1, that is c1 equals 1/2. Now we have c1, c2, c3, we plug those here to find the general solution, okay, to find the solution, the final solution. Thus yt is c1 1/2 plus c2 is negative 1/2 cosine 2t plus C3 is 1/2 sine 2t. Final